What's up? You're listening to UCLA Radio.com. This is DJ Pop Shove It here on a special edition episode. There's no show scheduled for right now, but we're lucky enough to be in the studio with Alana. She's right here with us. She's a rising pop act, and we're going to go into a little interview because she has a really cool project coming out tomorrow. Hello, and we're back. This is DJ Pop Shove It, and you're listening to UCLARadio.com. I'm in the studio right now with the artist you just heard, Alana.
Hi.
And the track you heard was from her new EP, which is coming out tomorrow, August 30th, and that was called Lying to You. So welcome to the show. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
I just wanted to start out by getting to know you a little bit. Where are you from?
I'm actually from a little suburb outside of Detroit, Michigan, and I came out here about 6.5 years ago to do music and to work in the entertainment business. I love it.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you found your place here in LA. This music is very LA inspired to me. It feels like it's super kind of glossy and cool. So that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I was always a fan of the culture out here. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's really what motivated me to come out here. And the pop culture was just always something I grew up on.
Yeah.
With different pop artists and the 90s pop artists. So that's really what inspired a lot of this.
Who were some of those inspirations?
I grew up on so many people like Christina Aguilera and, of course, Britney's entertainment aspect of things. I just loved her visuals. And but then, vocals, I've always been inspired by vocals, and, Ariana Grande's doing such a good job of that right now. And in general, any pop vocalist that also has dance involved, that's kind of my thing.
Do you have a background as a dancer as well?
Yeah, I grew up in dance. I actually have a Middle Eastern background. So my mom was a belly dancer, and we just kind of grew up in the dance world. And and even we have inspiration from Shakira. I grew up on a lot of that because she incorporated a lot of that belly dancing style and ethnic music and American music, which I grew up on too, was a lot of ethnic music. So, yeah.
So would you say that you try to emulate your background and your culture in your music?
Yeah, definitely. This project is more pop, but definitely working with a lot of new sounds sonically on the next one with more ethnic music. And but yeah, I really wanted to do just a pop project because that was something I had my heart on for a while, and I'm so excited I got to create it.
Nice. Yeah. Well, let's talk about this project then. Coming out tomorrow, we said August 30th. The EP is called Talk to Me. Mm-hmm. What was the reason for that name? So I was contemplating what we were going to name this project for a while, but one of my favorite tracks on here is track number 3. It's called Talk to Me. Okay.
And that was the first one we actually created for this project. And it has more of a clubby feel than the other ones do. And as a dancer, it was one of my favorite ones. The second my producer created that track and I heard it, I was like, oh, this is the track. This is my favorite. And once we created that one, it kind of set the tone for the whole EP. Every song was really about communication, and it started when I started this project. It was when I was entering a new love relationship, and it was one that was actually the most real to me. And there were so many complications coming up in our relationship about communicating everything we felt honestly and openly. And it's, challenging to be vulnerable, especially with someone new. And you're like, can I trust this person?
Definitely.
And, so the whole premise behind it was just all the struggles I was facing with communicating and opening up. So I thought, Talk to Me, best name for it. Yeah.
So would you say that you draw a lot of your inspiration from real life?
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Cool. How long have you been working on this EP?
Probably a little over a year. We've been working on songs in general for a little while, but we started really making this project what it was about a year ago.
Cool.
Yeah.
So in the making of this project, can you break down for me what your process was like? What is it like writing these songs, and then once you get in the studio, what is that like?
Yeah. So every song is different. I write a lot of the stuff. In particular, Goodbye Love was one I basically wrote almost the entire thing. And in general, I write all of the songs, and then I go in with some other people if I feel like it needs some revamping or something to make it stronger. And so, yeah, I worked with some incredible people, and every song was different. Sometimes we had the track first, and then we would write to the track, and then we would build a whole concept around it. And then sometimes we would do the lyrics first and go in and just do the vocals and then build the track around the song. And so, yeah, in Goodbye Love, track number 4 is one that we did that too. I actually wrote that after a breakup, and it was really challenging to get over, and it was one of like the darkest places I had been, and I couldn't write when I was in that dark place. Sometimes I have to wait until I'm completely over it, and in that song that was the case. And so once I finally felt like, okay, I'm moving on, I kind of was just playing guitar in my room, and I was, just coming up with this chord progression. And Goodbye Love, the lyrics, you never came home, there was a silence, just kind of like fell out of me. And it just reminded me of my experience when I was by myself in an apartment, just like going through all this pain where this person that I loved would just never come home. And it was really painful. And it ended up being one of my favorite songs I've ever written. And it's a beautiful ballad, but it still has some pop influences to it. And we actually just went in and did the vocals first and built the track around that. And we kept the acoustic version where I just had the vocals on it on track 6. So there's an acoustic version of that one. And then the more pop version of it we kept on track 4. And yeah, it's a really beautiful song. But then there are other songs like Talk to Me that we built from a track where we had the track first, and we were like, okay, we want it to go here and build it up here. And yeah.
Yeah, that's cool that you can experiment with different styles since this is your first project. And
yeah.
You're finding out how it's going to work and what's going to work for you. That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's so many different ways that inspiration can hit you. So you just kind of have to go with whatever flows.
Yeah, and it sounds like the inspiration behind Goodbye Love was a way to turn something really hard for you into something beautiful. So I'm excited to hear that one too.
Exactly, yeah.
I guess what impact do you hope that your music has on your audience and on maybe people who don't know your music yet but are hearing it for the first time with this project?
Yeah. Basically, we're doing so much of this independently. So we're really discovering a lot of this stuff on our own. And what I find is really a passion of mine is just to spark any type of inspiration in other artists to really push themselves to create. And, I love when people listen to music and they feel so happy and free and they dance and it inspires them. And that's really what I hope to give, and also to connect. I know that there's a lot of people going through different relationship struggles, and so it's always fun to have a song that we connect with. And I feel like the song, like Goodbye Love in particular, people are not alone in that kind of pain. And yeah, but
Even though you may be alone physically, there's still a way to channel that through someone you may not even know, and that's awesome.
Exactly. That's what music is for, is to connect so many different types of people together that may not usually talk. So, yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that's great. That's a really beautiful impact.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Oh, I wanted to ask what you would consider to be the ideal listening situation for your music. So where do you think someone should listen to your music?
Yeah, that's a really good question, actually. Yeah. I really think that it's best. I mean, obviously headphones are awesome because you get to hear everything, but with some good speakers and to hear, I have so much respect for my producers, and a lot of the bass and just all the time they put into every little intricate detail of the sound is so important. So I really feel like some good speakers, some good headphones, blast it in the car. There's some really fun summery songs in there. So, yeah, that would probably be the best way.
Yeah, I love the car vibe, too.
Yeah.
That's one of the best places to listen to music to me.
Yeah, and you could listen to it, I think, in order to. We really set it up in a particular way sonically to be able to go through 1 through 6 and to have an experience with it. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And who did you collaborate with on this album?
A few different people. One of my favorite people is was Brandon Cobain, and he is a songwriter that works with Justin Tranter, and Justin Tranter's team works with like every single artist in the world. It's crazy. He actually wrote on some really awesome hits, like Hayley Kiyoko's song "Curious," and that was one of his like really big breakout songs. And he wrote on track 2 with me, "Tell You Something," which to me has more of a 90s vibe, and it has a guitar lead on it. So anyone who's a fan of the 90s music that makes you feel young again, that one is totally a fun song. That's actually currently my favorite one. It switches every day, but right now it's track 2 and then "Talk to Me." It goes back and forth between those two. He wrote on that one with me, and he's just such a genius. So that was super fun. And then I worked with quite a few different producers and engineers and just people I love and respect so much. And actually, Talk to Me, we had it as a different version in the past. We had more of a hip-hop artist and a hip-hop feel to it, but we ended up keeping it the way it was. And yeah, so
cool.
A bunch of cool people.
Yeah, that's great. And how do the visuals of the album, like the cover art, and I saw that you posted some promotional pictures that were like a little bit of a different art, how do they contribute to the listening experience?
Yeah, I really wanted to capture a visual for the cover that really captured how I felt when I sang these songs and when I was creating these songs. And that photo in particular, I was so inspired by different 90s divas that just had like, the fan and all that kind of stuff, that I had an empowering stance. And to me, that's, when you look at the cover art, that's exactly how I feel when I'm...
It's very fierce.
Yeah, that's how I feel when I'm, singing these songs and creating them, so...
That's awesome. I think it's so cool that you're making pop music that's so heavily you, and that makes it so relatable to other people, because other people are feeling these things too.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, and still in a fun, upbeat way, because sometimes songs can get heavy when we're talking about some deep stuff, so it's really cool. Yeah.
Cool. So where is this album going to take you here? Are you going to do things to promote it? Are you planning on playing any shows soon? Or?
Yeah, for sure. Right now we haven't had any shows set up yet, but we're hoping by right when the release happens, which is tomorrow or today when you listen to this, that we will start doing some, hopefully within the month of September, and start promoting a lot of this stuff. So maybe we'll come back on and play some songs for you guys.
Yeah, that'd be great. We'd be happy to have you. Do you think you would incorporate dance in that too?
Oh yeah, for sure. Track 5 is a song called "Something About You," and we have a video out for that already, and that one has a bunch of dancers in it as well. So dance is a huge part of what we do. And and we also had some awesome dancers choreographed to Talk to Me, and we have some footage of that too that we'll be sharing. And And where can people find that? They can go to our Instagram page that has all the promotion on it. And we're going to have a video coming out as well for Lying To, which is track 1. That one has more of like a hip-hop and R&B influence to it versus the other songs. So if that's more of your vibe, that video will be a really cool one to see. Our Instagram is Alana Duke at ALANADUQ. And everything will be out on there. And then the album Talk to Me is going to be out on all streaming platforms. So anywhere you listen, you can find it, and our artist name is just under Alana.
Well, congratulations on this project. It's really exciting, and I know I will definitely be listening to it right now and tomorrow when it comes out. You guys can tune in again tomorrow. I'm not exactly sure what time it is, but we'll put that out somewhere so people can find it. But thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me. You're so awesome, Mia.
Thank you. Anything else you want to say?
No. Just if you do like it, we would love to hear from you, and message us and share the music if you enjoy it. And thank you for supporting.
Awesome. Well, up next is the first listen at Tell You Something, track 2 off the new EP Talk to Me, which is out tomorrow, August 30th. And then the title track, Talk to Me, will be next. Thanks so much, Alana.
Thank you.